Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, was released in 1989. Believe it or not, this was my introduction to the Friday the 13th franchise. I watched this probably towards the end of primary school on an old school TV I had, probably about 12 inches. It was a silver box TV, and I'm so goddamn nostalgic for this film and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. It is one of my favorite memories of early DVD collecting, as well as an introduction into the world of cheesy 80s slasher flicks. While I am extremely nostalgic for the film, it is not without its many faults. Let's just discuss some of the behind-the-scenes blunders that plagued this sequel. Firstly, they called this film Jason Takes New York on a budget for a reason. The film's title would promise a slasher through Manhattan, but most of the film takes place during the boat travel to New York. There are very few scenes actually shot in New York, a lot of it was shot in Vancouver actually, but the one signature scene of Jason standing in Times Square was a legitimate shot. Director Rob Hedden has publicly mentioned he had grander plans for this Jason film, such as Jason visiting Madison Square Gardens and also the Statue of Liberty. But with the smaller budget, it just was not possible. The film as a slasher does boast a pretty good kill count with 20 kills. Impressive, however, once again, not to beat a dead horse here, but 16 of the 20 kills take place on the SS Lazarus. The SS Lazarus. However you pronounce it, it's the boat. But we all know the most infamous death of the film being Julius having his head knocked clean off after attempting a street fight with Jason. I can't lie, this is one of the most standout scenes of the entire franchise, and credit to Julius himself. He actually landed a few hits. A lot of people see this film as the final nail in the franchise's coffin. It did indeed lead to the longest hiatus in the franchise's history, with Jason Goes to Hell being released 4 years later. I honestly find this movie to be misunderstood. In a way, not all the way, trust me, I know it's much more of a guilty pleasure. I just have to admit that the Friday the 13th as a series continued getting more over the top as it went along. That's exactly what this movie is, over the top. If you're having a movie marathon of these films, I don't think it will be any sort of surprise the trajectory that this film went in. The budget probably caused this movie to fall flat more than anything else. But it provides plenty of laughs, some decent kills. The plot, it can be thrown out the window, but if you're watching this series for the plot, I personally think you're missing the point. After all these years, this is the movie out of the entire franchise I personally want to watch over and over again. I may be alone on that, but I just think it was worth confessing my sins today and talking about a guilty pleasure of mine. Let me know what you thought of the video down below. Don't forget to rate and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.